Navigational tools can be found in all sorts of locations. They help us find our way around because, let's face it, no one enjoys being lost. Well, unless you're these guys. Nanyang Technological University, or NTU, for those of us who can't pronounce full English words, is no exception. These tools are what we are going to be evaluating in this week's episode of The effectiveness of navigational tools plays an important role in helping students find their way to class, particularly for new students too lazy to check out directions before heading to school. Our team has come up with 5 tasks focusing on the first week of school for freshmen. For each task, we've given participants 10 minutes to find their location in order to simulate immediately traveling from one lecture to another. We've forbidden participants from asking for directions and using Google Maps. So if you're just a regular Joe like me, it's likely that you get into NTU by bus. Now, because of our team's lack of resources and very limited manpower, we've chosen to begin our evaluation at Liwinam Library. We've also limited our evaluation to include only areas around the North Spine. An effective navigation system should provide needed information for students the moment they alight from the bus. The bus stop at Liwinam Library does have a map. However, it seems that the map is placed counter to the direction everyone walks towards upon alighting the bus. To see if this would compromise the finding of the map, we have instructed our 6 participants to find themselves a navigational tool the moment they alight from the bus.
Here comes a new challenger. Ray, Emily, Willie, Nigel, Carrie Ann, and Jackie.
In an ideal situation, participants should go against the flow of human traffic and walk back towards the map. Ray, Emily, Willie, Nigel, and Carrie Ann did so, which means that the map's placement does not compromise the ease of which it can be found, for the most part. All participants agreed that it was easy to find because
if I alighted at the bus stop, the map is all there.
Just literally step out of the bus stop, I can see it.
But so happened, then turn around, then I saw, oh, it's there.
Maps are usually here.
However, one participant actually walked away from the map towards the stairs before later turning back. According to him,
because it didn't stop near the map, so I missed out the map portion. So I mean, when looking around, this seems the most plausible route to go. And if I cannot find my way up there, then I would just look for a directory upstairs.
This means that when students are not intentionally looking out for navigational tools, it is possible for this map to be overlooked. To solve this problem, shifting the map's position slightly nearer to the stairs should make it more likely that students will walk past it and notice it. For the second task, we've asked participants to find LT1 and get there using the map. This is to see if the map can be easily read and to evaluate how well it works in helping students find their way. In the ideal situation, participants should easily find LT1 on the map, and then discern 2 possible routes. The right route is the shorter one that should take them up the stairs from the bus stop, and then under the stairs before them towards the parking lots. There, a sign by a stairwell should indicate that LT1 can be found up those spiral stairs. Alternatively, participants can also travel up these stairs. Ray managed to find LT1 on the map fairly easily. However, when it came to making her way there, she completely missed the stairs. and took us for a nice stroll. Eventually, she had to return to the map before correctly taking the stairs up. Emily, Willie, and Jackie took the left route, while Nigel and Carrie-Anne took the ideal route on the right. These 5 other participants had little trouble finding their way to the foyer in front of LT1A. Emily, Nigel, Carrie-Anne, and Jackie approached the board there, only to find it provided no information to help them. Not one of the 5 took the stairs right in front of them. Ray did, but oh, and here we go again. Well, at least she found it. Nigel quickly figured to go up, somehow, and managed to find the destination quickly.
He's here.
Maybe because on the map, right, the LT one is a square block. Like the way they draw it means like it's like on top of something instead of like you connected. You know what I mean?
Emily, Willie, Carrie-Anne, and Jackie took a different route. While Emily quickly noticed the sign directing to LT1, Willie had to make a loop elsewhere before finding it. Carrie-Anne and Jackie missed the sign completely, and though Jackie found a sign that seemed to point to LT1, he ended up being misled. However, he eventually managed to find a sign which indicated LT1's location on level 2. As for Carrie-Anne... she failed. Yes, LT1 can be found on the map. Problem is, there is nothing to tell us that it's on a different level, and the lack of signs makes finding one's way very difficult. If there were directional signs here, Ray wouldn't have taken us for a stroll. There is one sign that points to LT1, but it's tucked away in some inconspicuous corner and can be difficult to spot. The color is also too similar to the white wall. Additionally, there's an overhead sign which seems to point to LT1 and 1A. Let's see where it points to.
Oh, look, Mommy, I found LT1!
I survived somehow. Solutions. The map at the bus stop should provide more detailed information. For example, there should be some indication that LT1 is on a level above LT1A. A simple logo might do the trick. Additionally, the map needs to be supported with signs placed along the way. A sign placed here would clearly indicate the location of LT1 upstairs. These signs should also be made noticeable. They should also provide accurate directions and not lead people to their deaths. Scattered around the second level of North Spine are these blue pillars. To see if these pillars are well located and easy to spot, our third task required participants to find the nearest navigational tool from LT1. Ideally, participants should be able to spot the pillars and realize that it is some form of navigational tool. All participants spotted the blue pillars easily and quickly.
You win. Flawless victory.
They also described it as being easy to see because it was big and sticking out. Makes you wonder if they were talking about something else. Now that our participants have found the blue pillars, we have to see if the information on them is easy to read and sufficient to help students find their way. So, for our fourth task, we asked participants to get to LT17 using information from the pillars. What we didn't tell them was that precise information on LT17 can only be found on one side of the pillar. The ideal situation would have participants find the information and immediately head towards LT15 to 18. They should be able to tell from the map that level 4 is not connected throughout, and the only way to access LT15 to 18 is by the stairs and elevator at NS1-1. Ray started off looking at the correct side of the pillar, but failed to notice LT15 to 18. Unable to find the needed information here, she returned to the map at the bus stop. Unfortunately, that doesn't have anything on LT17 either. So she, Oh, Emily, Nigel, Carrie-Ann and Jackie managed to find the information they needed. However, 3 of them went up the stairs directly behind the pillar, only to realize that there was no way they could reach their destination from there. Willie didn't even look at that side of the panel. He did find a directory panel outside the elevator NS2-2, but like many of our other participants, he went up to level 4 directly from where he found that information. Not realizing that the walkways are disconnected. I suppose there's only one thing to do then. Almost all of our participants were confused by this side of the pillar. Practically everything here is presented in the same style and the same color. Also, everything is placed very close together. Because of that, our participants were misled into thinking their current location was the same as LT17's location. What are we to do about these problems then?
Don't worry, Mr. B. I have a cunning plan to solve the problem.
Color coding each type of information can make each more easy to spot. To emphasize the breaks in level 4, longer or jagged lines of different colors can be used. The 5th task evaluates the larger scaled map of the pillar. To do this, participants were told to find Nanyang Auditorium using information found on this map. Ideally, participants should easily spot the location on the map and be able to make their way there with the provided information. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successful participants! Who the hell was that? Oh, never mind. Even though participants were able to find Nanyang Auditorium on the map, they found it only because they knew it was next to the administration building. In situations where nearby buildings are less apparent, just finding the destination on the map does little good in preventing people from becoming headless chickens. 5 out of 6 of our participants also seemed to have some difficulty finding their bearing on the map. The "You are here" indication is similarly colored as the surrounding buildings on the map. Even though the map's orientation is based on wherever the user is standing, it is not clear that it is so. The "You are here" indication should have a different color that makes it stand out from the surrounding items. Also, using an arrow to mark out users' current location can allow them more ease in understanding their bearings relative to the map. So, does the navigational system in NTU's North Spine work as it should? Not really, it seems. The tools are relatively easy to locate when they exist. Effectively, the navigational tools only seem to give students a general direction. Though they mostly have information that can help students find their way, these can be easily missed. The lack of signs just doesn't help. Let's not get started on South Spine and the rest of the campus. We don't get paid enough for that.